Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. I'm Ron OLESKO, and I'll be your MC this evening, and we have quite an evening in store for you. Tonight's performers will include Luke Wallace, Greg Klyma, Carla Ulbrich, Grant Livingston, Deborah Silverstein, Chris Lowe, Natalia Zukerman, and Christine Lavin. Some old friends, some new faces that you're going to hear for the first time on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. And I know it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm glad you're with us. Now, for those of you who are new to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, where the heck have you been? We've been doing this since the summer of 2020. Actually, Greenwich Village Folk Festival started much earlier than that, back in the late 80s. It was an in-person festival that took place in Greenwich Village. It went on hiatus in the early 90s, and then during the pandemic, it was brought back by Rod MacDonald and Ray Mysick and a few other individuals who were always involved with this fest. And we've been doing this on the first Sunday of the month ever since. Now, this is our gift to the community. It's a free concert. You're watching from all points of the globe tonight, but we do have a tip jar in order to keep this going and also to maintain our archive. Your support is greatly appreciated. So you'll see in the chat feature, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you'll see some links. And if you're able to, we really do hope that you could throw a couple bucks our way, help support the festival, help support the artists that you're seeing. And we can keep this going for many more months to come, hopefully many more years to come, but kind of all depends on you great folks. And I know every month I see so many wonderful folks who come into the chat feature, people from all over. It's kind of like a little party. We all get together virtually. And I think it's a great idea, and I hope we can continue doing this. So thank you for your help. And we'll tell you about that a little bit later on. Oh, don't forget, you can also go to our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. You'll see links on how to donate. You can mail checks, and you'll find archives there that you can go back and look at all of these events that we've been doing since 2020. They're hosted on our YouTube page, and it's quite an impressive collection. Some of the finest names in folk and acoustic music have appeared on this program, and tonight is no exception. So let's begin. Now, our first performer is a songwriter, a speaker, a choral arranger, and also an environmental champion, and he hails from Vancouver, British Columbia. And in 2023, he was a featured performer at the UN Water Conference in New York City. And besides performing in the Vancouver Folk Festival and multiple US tours, Luke also speaks in schools about hope in the face of climate change. He is a committed activist and an advocate for the environment. He holds a BA in environmental geography, and he's passionate about bringing environmental awareness into the mainstream conversation. Let's go to Canada now and welcome our first performer, Luke Wallace.
Thanks, Ron. Hey, everybody. Nice to be here with you. It's a great intro. Special shout out to my friend Bob Bosson. I'm sure y'all know Bob and are friends with Bob. Bob was connected me into this amazing community. It's an honor to be here with y'all. It's 4 o'clock here in Vancouver, 7 o'clock for a lot of you out there, and I'm going to start you with a song called Sons and Daughters on this rainy Vancouver day where I am. Thanks so much. Well, get your kids to a garden. With the garden they'll grow. They'll learn to go easy. They'll learn to live slow. Get your kids to a garden. With the garden they'll grow. They'll learn to go easy, yeah. Then go easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember, this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for. Then get your kids to a river. With the river will flow. It'll teach them how to paddle. It'll teach them how to row. Get your kids to a river. With the river they'll flow. It'll take them where they need to go. Then go easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for. I'ma go easy, easy. I'm going easy, yeah. I'm going easy, easy. I'm going easy, yeah. Let 'em see their reflection wherever they go, in the rain, water, flood, water, sleet, hail, snow. Let 'em see their reflection wherever they go. Then get your kids to a garden. With the garden they'll grow. They'll learn to go easy. They'll learn to live slow. Get your kids to a garden. With the garden they'll grow. They'll learn to go easy, yeah. Then go easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for. I'ma go easy, easy. I'm going easy, yeah. I'm going easy, easy. I'm going easy, yeah. I'm going easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place, it's for us all to wander. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. It's great. I don't know. It's still, after doing so many of these, we're still not used to the terrible silence of finishing a song. It's like when I sing for my wife and she goes, "That was nice." I kid. Okay, so this next track I wrote down when I was living in Los Angeles last year. And obviously, if you know anything about LA last year, the drought ended very abruptly, and they kind of got a whole lot of rain and precipitation all at once when that polar vortex swung way, way, way south, all the way down to San Diego, pretty much. And it was snowing on the Vegas Strip, and it was it captured my attention, and it captured lots of people's attention. But that moment, I remember looking at Las Vegas and this hail and snow on the streets there, and thinking, yeah, this is how it goes. It's not progressively warmer or anything, but it's just the fluctuations will increase, and the variability will become greater and less predictable. And so I wrote this song. It's called "Snowing in Vegas." You'll get it, but it's a song about the way in which we were playing Russian roulette with the ecology. Here you go. I'm bracing for a once-in-a-century storm. It's the second one this year. The weatherman tells me it's warm, as if it wasn't abundantly clear. They're calling for a once-in-a-100-year flood. It's the fourth one this week. The valley bottom covered in mud, the rain running down my cheek. Ain't it funny how once in a lifetime, about as common as a rock in your shoe, call the $1 million lifeline. Maybe Regis will know what to do. I hear it snowing in Vegas. Everybody placing their bets and trying to get famous. It's got me wondering, is this about as good as it gets? If so, it's fucking amazing. Oh, it's really like something I could never forget. I'm trying to be courageous, but I hear it's snowing in Vegas. Waiting for a break in the clouds, that the government's seated for rain. And I probably shouldn't say it out loud. Hear 'em knocking on my door again. Ain't it funny how once in a lifetime, about as common as a rock in your shoe, call the $1 million lifeline. Maybe Regis will know what to do. I hear it's snowing in Vegas. Everybody placing their bets and trying to get famous. It's got me wondering, is this about as good as it gets? If so, it's amazing. Oh, it's really like something I could never forget. I'm trying to be courageous, but I hear it's snowing in Vegas. A roll of the dice, a spin of the wheel. I'll call up the ice, try to cut us a deal of a couple of years, but it's growing quite thin. No matter the wager, the house always wins. I hear it's snowing in Vegas. And everybody placing their bets are trying to get famous. It's got me wondering, is this about as good as it gets? If so, it's fucking amazing. Oh, it's really like something I could never forget. I'm trying to be courageous, but I hear it's snowing in Vegas. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, brilliant. Well, I can't wait. There's so much amazing music coming up here. I'm happily going to sit with y'all on my couch and sip a cup of tea and take in some glorious tunes. Thanks for listening and hanging out. My name's Luke Wallace. I'll play you one more. This is a song called Comeback. If you go onto YouTube, you search up Luke Wallace Comeback, what you'll see is a video there, a montage of my time and our time out at Fairy Creek, which is a watershed on Vancouver Island, just to where I'm not the last remaining unlogged old growth watershed on Vancouver Island. And it's in the most amazing place with trees that are like 800,000-year-old trees that are just like brilliant, hemlocks and cedars that would blow your mind. And we stood there for 3, 4, 5 months, and it became the highest act of civil disobedience with the most arrests in the history of Canada, protecting the remaining tiny fraction of old-growth forests left on the coast. And it was an amazing time. So if you want to go see that footage, it's totally inspiring. And here's a song that went along with that. And I'll get you a quick tune. Gotta do it justice. And this is a song, when I play it live, I get everybody to howl with me. There's a part that goes, "To build a bigger wolf pack." So when you hear that part, you can howl to yourself, all right? Thanks so much. We can make a comeback and save it for our kids. Then I could tell your son that I gave all I had to give to build a bigger wolf pack. And that's where you go, oh, get 'em howling at the wind. We can make a comeback. Feel the weight of it all and I let it sink in. But this ain't nothing new, it's what I'm always thinking. A break in the flow is like my mind blinking. A moment of rest now. And in the pause I can feel all the weight start to lift. Like a rift in the clouds, my favorite song louder. Story coming clear over the crowd. I listening close now. Yeah, and I hear the future go something like this. Sound of the singers coming through crisp. Steady ourselves, climb back to the bliss. I welcome anything that walks through that mist. And so I insist that we go there together. Start from the bottom, build something much better. Whatever the weather, it's right on time. Said the moment's arrived now. Yeah, we can make a comeback and save it for our kids. And I could tell you, son, that I gave all I had to give to build a bigger wolf pack. You get 'em howling at the wind. Yeah, we could make a comeback. Yeah. See, the truth is that I don't know where to begin. In the ocean, the forest, the political grin, the methane, the coup, the violence within. Guess I'll look for a sign now. And the second I look, there it appears, hiding behind all that sorrow and fear. And when I look in your eyes, I can see it so clear. We're one and the same now. So come back to love, come back to the land. Come back together, come lend a hand. Come back to the soil, come back to the sand. Come back to yourself now. We can make a comeback and save it for our kids. Then I could tell you, son, that I gave all I had to give. And I wish you hadn't done that. You've thrown our future to the wind, but we could make a comeback. Hey, yeah, we could make a comeback and save it for our kids. Then I could tell you, son, that I gave all I had to give to build a bigger wolf pack. You get 'em howling at the wind. Said I could be the comeback. No, I could be the comeback. No, I could be the comeback. Oh, no, I could be the comeback. Thanks so much. See you later, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks.
Thank you, Luke Wallace. Hey, right. He's going to be playing a number of festivals in Canada, including the Islands Folk Festival, the Stan Rogers Folk Festival, Kingsville Folk Festival. You can check out his full schedule at lukewallacemusic.com. And I hope he comes to the U.S. again soon. It's been a while. Luke Wallace. Well, you know, as you're going to hear tonight, we have a number of artists who have some very important subject matter in their songs, a number that also use humor, and a number that are quite innovative. In fact, all of them, all 8 performers tonight, I think, fit those categories. Our next performer hails from Buffalo, New York, where he earned the title of Rust Belt Vagabond, but now he's based out of Boston. He's a scholar of rock and roll and country music, and he uses that as his foundation to create his totally unique and distinctive sound. Over 30 years of touring and more than a dozen studio albums under his belt, he's a prolific songwriter known for his energetic live performances and clever storytelling. And tonight, I think, is his debut here at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. We're pleased to welcome Greg Klyma.
Play a little number here. Goes back to 2013, something called Circular World. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. But it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. The sun come up, the sun gonna go back down. The sun come up, the sun gonna go back down. In a circular world where the stories just keep spinning around. Circle in the wagon, spinning round the sun, stick a feather in your cap, call it revolution. One step forward, two steps back, you know it wasn't very long ago when folks believed the world was flat. But if the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. Hey, it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. Jumping Jehoshaphat, it all makes sense to me now. Jumping Jehoshaphat, it all makes sense to me now. Hey, it's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around and around and around. Circle in the wagon, spinning round the sun, stick a feather in your cap, call it revolution. One step forward, two steps back, you know it wasn't very long ago when folks believed the world was flat. But if the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. Sing along at home. If the world were flat, the movie'd be over by now. It's a circular world and the stories just keep spinning around. Circular world. All right. The time sure does go by quickly doing these 15-minute online festival sets. Thank you all for having me. Want to let you know about one other thing in my world, Patreon. I started a Patreon page, patreon.com/Greg Klyma. I'm a songwriter, written thousands of them. There's lyric sheets for over 130 of them available to my patrons at patreon.com/Greg Klyma. There's also classic photos, rare demos, exclusive videos, yada, yada, yada. Check it out. For $5, you get the coffee level. For $20, weed. Yeah, go have a look. There's this thing in the world, friends. It's called FALM, February Album Writing Month. The objective of February Album Writing Month is to write 14 songs in the month of February. 14 songs in 28 days. I did that last year, and this was the 15th song. It's called The Great Blackjack Game. There's a version of it at YouTube there. YouTube is .com/socialclima. Patreon, don't get confused. Now, Patreon is /Greg Klyma, but YouTube is /socialclima. Yeah, glad we had a little talk. All right. This song here is called The Great Blackjack Game, and it sounds something like this. Two roads diverged, two stories were written. A fish came on land, an apple was bitten. Answers were sought, questions were found. The earth it was flat, until it was round. Lands were conquered, people were sold, more roads diverged, more stories were told. The books got written, but the pages were torn. The natives were restless, and God was born. Ooh. God was born. Two roads diverged, then diverged again. A fork in the road, a means to an end. God threw a tantrum, he wanted a gun. So God gave the apes opposable thumbs. They conceived of a bomb where the atom would split. They selected their target was hit. Lilith returned to the land of her birth. The strong survived and the meek inherited the earth. The meek inherited the earth. Two roads diverged, the rich and the poor. They taught us a lesson. The lesson is more. The Pope tells the peasants that God loves the needy, but the kings and the queens do not mind being greedy. The fix is in. This tour will be guided. History's not written. History's decided. A child asks why, but nobody knows. The teacher shrugs. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. Two roads diverged, the yin and the yang. In the garden a rib, in the sky a big bang. God threw it. And the truth about the road to salvation and all of its toll booths. The stage was set for the great Blackjack game. They gave away tickets and everyone came. The players were exactly who you'd expect. Jesus shuffled the cards and Darwin cut the deck. And Darwin cut the deck. My name is Greg Klyma. Thank you all so very much for having me here on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival Online Edition. Hope to see you out there at a show in real life sometime.
Thank you, Greg. Greg Klyma. And if you're looking to see Greg in some shows, if you happen to be in Somerville, Massachusetts, this coming Thursday, he'll be at the Burn Backroom Series with Ryan Fitzsimmons and Tom Bianchi and Chris DeSanti. And on the 16th, he'll be at Mackenzie's Tonics and Tunes in Fairfax, Virginia. And if you really want to look far ahead, on June 21st, he's going to be appearing at the Moccasin Creek Festival. That's an annual 4-day music festival. It takes place at the beautiful Lake Sarah. It's just west of Effingham, Illinois. You can find out more at his website, klyma.com. And you can find out more at our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. As I mentioned before, you'll find links to bios and other links to all these performers that you're seeing here and in past shows, links to our archive where you can catch up on episodes that you missed. We're on the first Sunday of every month. And again, this is a free festival, but we do have a tip jar. So if you're able to help support us and keep this going, we're here on the first Sunday of the month, thanks to folks, generous folks like you. You can check out the link in either the YouTube or Facebook chat or at our website, which is, everybody repeat after me, GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org. We thank you for your support. Well, our next performer, she has this new CPAP song, which is on YouTube, and it currently has over 875,000, wait a minute, I can't even read my writing here, 875,000 direct hits. Unbelievable. She has 9 CDs. She's been featured on the BBC, Dr. Demento, Sirius XM Comedy Hour, NPR's Morning Edition, and of course, folkmusicnotebook.com. She's a past winner of the South Florida Folk Festival Songwriter Competition, the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival Showcase, the Logan Awards, which is for excellence in comedy music, and the Just Plain Folk Awards for Best Novelty Comedy Album. Now, you also might recognize her from her appearance on the silver screen. She gave a memorable performance as an extra in the movie Sharknado 2. And perhaps you've enjoyed some performances on the stages of Kerrville, Florida, South Florida, New Jersey, and the Turtle Hill Folk Festivals, Seattle's Moisture Festival, and the Avalon Nude Folk Festival, where she claims that she took the clothing option. We're so pleased to have her with us tonight. Please welcome a dear friend, Carla Ulbrich.
Yay!
Thank you. And thank you for clarifying that I took the clothing option. I don't want to have people calling me up and booking me for the wrong reasons and then regretting it. You know, I don't know if you've been on a flight lately, but I just really don't like it when all the other passengers are complaining about everything. There's no pillows. There's no peanuts. There's no fuselage. So picky. And then there's this group of 6 people on every flight. I think you know what I'm talking about. You know you can't lift 30 pounds, but you're sitting in the exit row. Yeah, you insist on hanging around, just sitting in the exit row. You're drunk as a skunk and you might be high. If we had an emergency, all of us would die. But you say, yeah, I understand the responsibility of sitting in the exit row. Staying calm in emergencies is hard. When you're sitting in the exit row, you haven't even glanced at the safety card. And you're sitting in the exit row, they're giving the safety speech. You're playing on your phone. In the event of a water landing, folks, you're on your own. It looks like we've just got dead weight sitting in the exit row. I'd like to get there alive. Next time I think I'll just drive to Hawaii. You say your toddler is just fine, sitting in the exit row next to his granddad who's 99. And sitting in the exit row, you should be thankful that I'm not wearing cleats. Cause while you're blocking our escape, I'll be climbing over seats right past the folks who are asleep and sitting in the exit row. You know, listening to thank you.
Yay!
Christine knows what I'm talking about. Listening to those first 2 fabulous musicians, Luke and Greg, made me really question my set list. I thought, you know, I should do something meaningful, but that ship has sailed. Okay. I just think I should do what I do best, and they should do what they do best, and I'll just be the comic relief, hopefully. So any Mets fans? Oh, that's right, everybody's muted. So we'll just assume you're all Mets fans. I am from South Carolina, but now I'm married to a Mets fan, so I'm sort of a Mets fan. And there's something I learned when I moved up here. The big difference between Yankees fans and Mets fans. Yankees fans are always yelling, Mets stink! And Mets fans are always yelling, Mets stink. That's the difference. Yeah. The other thing I learned is up here, unlike in South Carolina where I'm from, up here, when someone says, how you doing? The correct answer is, how you doing? So it goes like this, how you doing? How you doing? And if you're in a big group, it goes, how you doing? 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 No one ever finds out how anybody's doing. I'm starting to think maybe they don't care. Anyway, I was on the phone with customer service the other day, and they said, could you spell your last name for me? I said, Ulbrich. And she goes, perfect. I was like, thanks. I've been practicing. I just think a little overuse of the word perfect anymore. It's like people are perfect, awesome, awesome, perfect, perfect, awesome, perfect, awesome. And so I had to write a song about it. No one simply says good job anymore. Everything is perfect and awesome. Seriously, would people even recognize now perfect things if they saw some? My brownies came out pretty good this time. I appreciate all of the praise, y'all. Delicious, tasty, yummy, okay, but really they aren't amazeballs. Word inflation, words are meaningless. Word inflation, it's a hot, hot mess, a trend that cannot be reversed. Everything is either the best or the worst. I can't stand it. Word inflation is like the totally worst thing to ever happen on this planet. He obliterated the argument. No, he simply raised an objection. Then he went on a deranged rant. It's called having a vocal inflection. I get when you want to make a point. Why do we need all the hype though? Oh man, what an epic fail. Dude, it was just a typo. Word inflation. Language is eroding. Word inflation. It's literally exploding when every little thing is breaking news. You've got no choice, words left to choose. Where do you go? Word inflation. ROTFLMAO. Rolling on the floor, laughing. Oh, come on, you're just sitting in a chair. With the death of the superlative, we'll need wheelbarrows full of adjectives. The words left for future generations. They're gonna have to use scientific notation. It'll be a disaster to the 100th power. Word inflation, it caused a fall of Rome. Word inflation, a verbal thunderdome. It's taking the world by storm. Hyperbole is now the norm, and it's a crime. Word inflation, I've said it a million times. A million, oh yes, at least. Word inflation. That's right, inflation, word inflation. So yes, living in New Jersey here. I've been up here a while now, but when I first moved up, I still remember, like it was yesterday, the culture shock. And I called home after about a month. I said, yo, everything's so expensive up here. And the traffic is crazy. And nobody will take my Confederate money. Yeah. So the other thing that really blew my mind was all the swearing. It's very popular in New Jersey and New York City. Lots of swearing. But it did give me a great idea. Now, I can't wear headphones and a harmonica holder. That's too many accoutrements. Just a minute here. Okay, there we go. I mean, I want to just put on some glasses and some bunny ears while we're at it. Okay. But it did give me a great idea, great business idea. The visual jokes for everyone on the radio. That's what I was doing. Okay. Great business idea with all this swearing. If I had the copyright on the word, I'd say, this job and yourself, you dumb. No need for hard work and no need for luck. If I had the copyright on the word, I just just like to watch DJs sweat. That's why I sing this song. How quickly are we going to lose this license? Not a gasp, not a sigh, would my mouth would be heard. Nope, just a ching when I hear the F word. If people got jealous of all of my wealth, I tell them to copyright and if I had the copyright on the word, I'd have no need for that gum dang darn shoot or shucks. No need for hard work and no need for luck. For letter word usage is perfectly honed. I could retire on New Jersey alone, where they say I don't give a if they can't take a stroke, then hey, what the does 12 you? So don't give up, quit around or you're gonna get. If I had the copyright on the word, I'd say this job and yourself, you know. No need for hard work and no need for luck. Everybody bleep along at home. If I had the copyright on the word.
Bravo.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival.
Thank you,
Carla.
Carla.
All right.
Carla Ulbrich. Oh, wow, that was great. And listen, for those of you folks who may be anywhere near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, this coming Tuesday through Saturday, Carla will be opening for Jeff Norris at the Comedy Cabana. That's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And she's also doing a live stream on Friday, May 17th. It's usually the second Friday of the month, but you can find out more at her website, carlau.com. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you, Ron.
Well, we were talking about humor, and our next performer uses humor to deliver a serious message as well. Grant is an artist in residence at the Everglades National Park. He's appeared every year since 1987 at the Florida Folk Festival. And he and National Park Ranger Gary Bremen have presented songs and stories of our national parks at Yosemite and the Indiana Dunes. He takes his humor and environmental awareness well beyond Florida to the rest of the United States. Tonight, he comes to us on our virtual stage at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Let's give a warm welcome to Grant Livingston.
Well, hey there. It is great to be here, and in the whole wide world, how many Everglades are there? I see one finger out there. How do you think I see that? There is just one. That's your part if you want to sing along at home. Well, there's lots of things in the wide, wide world, from the desert to the mountains. So many things in the wide, wide world that you'd never be able to count them. There are 5 oceans, 4 winds, 3 colors on a traffic light. 2 times when it's 2 o'clock, you know, one's in the middle of the night. But there are some things like nothing else, that much is clear. But there's one place like no place else, and guess what? It's right here. There's only one Everglades, only one Everglades, only one Everglades. Hey, the answer is not so hard. There's only one Everglades, only one. God only made just one Everglades, and it's right in our backyard. You can go all over the wide, wide world, from the north to the land down under. You can travel the ends of the wide, wide world. You can see all the 7 wonders. The Taj Mahal, the Great Wall, the Mona Lisa in the Louvre Museum, Galapagos, but heaven knows you gotta go pretty far to see them. 'Cause all of those places are further than far, but one thing is clear. You don't have to go further than where you are, 'cause guess what? It's right here. There's only one Everglades, only one. Everglades, only one. Everglades, hey, the answer is not so hard. There's only one. Everglades, only one. God only made just one. Everglades, and it's right in our backyard. And the great blue heron and the manatee, the otter and the panther and the gator agree. What do they say? There's only one. Everglades, only one. Everglades, only one. Everglades, hey, the answer is not so hard. There's only one. Everglades, only one. God only made just one. Everglades, and it's right in our backyard. There's only one. Everglades, only one. Everglades, only one. Everglades, hey, the answer is not so hard. There's only one. Everglades, only one. God only made just one. Everglades, and it's right in our backyard. It's right in our backyard. Only one. Hey, thank you very much. You can't talk about the Everglades very long without talking about a lady by the name of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Marjorie was the one that taught us it's okay to love a swamp. She gave the Everglades its name, the River of Grass, and she herself became known as the voice of the river. For everything she did for Everglades preservation. Marjorie was past 70 when she started Friends of the Everglades and started fighting for the Everglades. Just goes to show you it's never too late to start something if you really believe in it. Helps if you live to be 108 like Marjorie did. Nighttime in the Everglades, the frogs and gators croak. They serenade the sawgrass plain, they echo through the oaks. But everything gets quiet as the sun begins to rise, and it looks like 80 years ago through Marjorie's eyes, and the voice of the river is silent. Sawgrass makes no sound. Black water flows through the cypress. The voice of the river is silent now. Daylight in the Everglades, the sawgrass golden brown. The egrets rise and fly away, sunlight beating down. I can almost see her now in that old floppy hat. The voice of the river of grass. But the voice of the river is silent. Sawgrass makes no sound. Black water flows through the cypress. The voice of the river is silent, and I heard her speak at 100. Her voice was steady and true, and as I listened, I wondered if the river knew. Sunset in the Everglades is orange, pink, and gray. Blue heron finds a tree to roost to end another day. And silence falls on sawgrass, the grass it does not speak. But if it knew one single word it would sing. Marjorie, but the voice of the river is silent. Sawgrass makes no sound. Black water flows through the cypress. The voice of the river is silent now. Everything is silent now. The voice of the river is silent now. Hey, thanks very much. And I think Greg said these 15-minute sets go by real quick. They do. I want to say I'm just thrilled to be here with some great friends and just some wonderful artists, and it's just great to be here. Marjorie was a voice for the Everglades, and these are crazy times. We need a voice for just common sense, and that's what this song's about. Thank you very much. My name is Grant Livingston. In a world gone mad, there are voices of reason. In the darkness, there are cries for freedom. There are voices of compassion in the coldest season. Let me be one of those voices. Let me be one of those voices. Let me see, we still have choices. Harmony above all the noise, yes. Let me be one of those voices all over the world, everywhere under the sun, all over the world. Hey, I know the day will come when every boy and girl sings praise to every other one. Let me be one of those voices. Let me be one of those voices. Let me see, we still have choices. Harmony above all the noise, yes. Let me be one of those voices. And I hear them singing loud, and I hear them singing clear. I believe they've been singing forever. If we listen, I know we can hear, just like everyone from ages and ages ago. I once was young, but now I'm growing old. When all is said and done, and my story is told, let me be one of those voices. Let me be one of those voices. Let me see, we still have choices. Harmony above all the noise, yes. Let me be one of those voices. Let me be, oh, let me be. Let me see, let me see harmony above all the noise, yes. Let me be one of those voices. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you, Grant. Grant Livingston, what a great song. What a great set. And for those of you watching, if you have no plans for Memorial Day weekend, you may want to spend it at the Florida Folk Festival, where Grant will be appearing. It's taking place at the Stephen Foster Folk Culture State Park in White Springs, Florida on Memorial Day weekend. And find out more about Grant and his amazing songs, grantlivingston.com. Well, still to come tonight, Christine Lavin will be here, Natalia Zukerman, Chris Lowe, and our next performer is someone who has some songs that, well, they've traveled the world. They've been sung by people like Peggy Seeger, Dolores Keane, Bob Boson, and others. And her very first band album, New Harmony Sisterhoods Ain't I a Woman, is in the American Folklife Collection at the Smithsonian. Oh, I'm tongue-tied tonight. She's currently working on a musical. It's called Riveted, and it's based on a song that she wrote. And it deals with the generation of women who were pushed out of wartime jobs to make room for returning World War II soldiers. And she's expanded that song to talk about the next generations, their daughters, and the millennial generation of today's women. Sounds fascinating. Hope you have a chance to see it. Well, we do have a chance to see her tonight. Please welcome Deborah Silverstein.
Hi, such a pleasure to be here. Thank you. I'm going to begin with a song I wrote many years ago called Drag Lines. And I wrote it back in the 70s when strip mining was the name of the game, and nowadays it's fracking. I was born and raised in the Allegheny Range of the Appalachian Mountains. And now, after about a 50-year hiatus, I've made my way back into the mountains in the Blue Ridge Range. I live now in Asheville, North Carolina. I wrote Drag Lines to be a voice for these amazing, magnificent mountains, and some of you listening may know it, and if you do, I hope you'll sing along with me. This is Drag Lines. Drag lines at my heart, they're tearing us apart, and the mountainside where we were born. Must I weep and moan for the land it took 10 million years to form? Now all my eyes can see are just the bleeding scars across the mountainside, across the mountainside. Coalport, PA, just a little town tucked too far away for anyone to know. But the folks born and raised for 6 generations, working day by day, trying to keep themselves a home. Drag lines at my heart, they're tearing us apart, and the mountainside where we were born. Oh, must I weep and mourn for the land it took 10 million years to form? Now all my eyes can see are just the bleeding scars across the mountainside, across the mountainside. Our neighbors down the road, they farmed 12 acres, worked a heavy load, poor as dirt though they tried. Well, the coal company came through, said, we'll mine your land, take the burden off of you, and we'll see that you get by. Drag lines at my heart, they're tearing us apart, and the mountainside where we were born, must I weep and mourn for the land it took 10 million years to form? Now all my eyes can see are just the bleeding scars across the mountainside, across the mountainside. First they tore down their home where the grandma and all the kids were born, just brushed it all aside. Then came the big machines, ripped up the trees and muddied all the streams, while the family stood and cried. Dragline, my heart, they're tearing us apart, and the mountainside where we were born, oh, take warning that the storm clouds will come and block out the sun that's shining on folks who seek their fortunes off the families who have died, trying to survive across the mountainside. Oh, they're the oldest mountains on the planet, the Appalachians. So, there's a meme going around on the internet which speaks to me, speaks for me. It says, it's okay to be heartbroken about more than one group of people at the same time. And it so happens that today, March 5th, is Yom HaShoah, which is Holocaust Remembrance Day. I wrote Sister's Keeper a long time ago for a Yom HaShoah memorial service, and I've adapted it. I changed a few words. I'm singing it tonight. An awareness of the devastating violence that is continuing to unfold in the Mideast. So this is Sister's Keeper. Oh, I need my cord. Am I my sister's keeper? Who but me will feed her when all her food is gone? When someone must respond, if not me, who'll be the one? Whose shoulders should be broader than those of my own brother when the night is long? When someone must be strong, when someone must be strong. Who will guard the gates of hell? Me or you or someone else? Who will toll the warning bell? Who'll shout that something's wrong, so very, very wrong? Who'll deny themselves temptation, the look the other way sensation, the seduction of the mob, the just doing of the job, the just doing of the job. What runs thicker than water? What if it's your daughter, or Arabs, blacks, or Jews, or someday maybe you? Yes, maybe even you. Who resist our lust for hate, our loathing for each other's state? Where hang the keys to heaven's gate? Is it blood or love or simply fate? Answer me, it's getting late. Am I my sister's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper?
Wow.
So, a last song. I've loved the Carter family music, going all the way back to my beginning as a musician and a singer and a songwriter. And there's a documentary filmmaker by the name of Beth Harrington. And a few years ago, she made a wonderful film about the whole history of the Carter family. It's called The Winding Stream, and you can watch it on Netflix. After I saw it the first time, I went home and I wrote Precious Time. It's a little existential ditty, and it's the title cut of my last solo album. And it has a chorus that keeps coming around, and even if you don't know it, I hope you'll catch on and sing it with me. So this is Precious Time. Walking down an old familiar path on a cloudy afternoon, my weary mind wandered here and there, and everywhere saw gloom. So I missed the pretty flowers blooming on the vine, lost a precious hour of time. It went slipping through my fingers, because time, it does not linger, and that moment will never again be mine. Time, precious time, you can't see it, you can't hold it, and there ain't no one can own it. So beware and take care of your precious time. I remember my babies tugging at my sleeve, saying, "Mama, come with me." And just like that, I turn to them and say, "I'm so busy, can't you see?" And now those little girls have babies of their own, left childhood far behind. It went slipping through my fingers, because time, it does not linger, and those moments will never again be mine. Time, precious time, you can't see it, you can't hold it, and there ain't no one can own it. So beware and take care of your precious time. I'm still walking down that old familiar path in the autumn of my days. And when I look and listen with all my heart, I find the raindrop on the petal of the flower on the vine. It fell from that cloud on high. I feel them slipping through my fingers in my sweet time that will not linger. These moments that will never again be mine. Time, precious time. You can't see it, you can't hold it, and there ain't no one can own it. So be aware and take care of your precious time. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Deborah. Deborah Silverstein. Really powerful words there, and we thank you for that. Check out Deborah's website, debobiz.com. You'll find a lot of her music and more information about her. Just an incredible songwriter, over 50 years writing songs. And they're just superb, as you can hear. And you can hear a lot of superb songs on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. And, some people have been asking about this history of this event. Well, it started in 1987, and the purpose has always been to honor the music and legacy of the village's music. The founding producers were Rod MacDonald, Ray Mysick, Jay Rosen, and Jerry Hinson. And they held annual concerts in the village from 87 to 94, and then went on hiatus. But it returned in 2020 with these online monthly concerts, which are held the first Sunday of every month. And it's a free event. We do have that tip jar. And again, I want to thank everybody who has donated so far. You folks keep this going. And we have some plans for the next coming months. I'll tell you about the June show at the end of tonight's program. But we've got some shows planned for the fall as well, and it's going to be fun. So make sure to mark your calendars the first Sunday of every month. Be here. And if you can't, for whatever reason, I can't think of a good reason why you wouldn't want to be here, but if you have other things to do, okay, we'll let it slip. But you can always check out the archive, where all of these concerts are archived, and you can watch them at your leisure. And again, we're coming close to 50 different monthly shows that we've done since this festival was resurrected, and it's really become a who's who of the world of folk and acoustic music. Some great old friends and a lot of new people as well. And I think years to come, people are going to find these episodes and they'll get a great idea of what the folk music scene was like in 2024. Well, let's get back to the music. Our next artist is a return guest, and it's always a pleasure to have him here. He grew up in New York City. He's lived in Greenwich Village his adult life, and he combines country and Delta blues into a really unique synthesis of the old and the new. And it was Dave Van Ronk who produced his very first album. He noted that Chris's songs capture a marvelous sense of place with a deftness that a novelist might envy. We're so pleased to have him back with us. Here is Chris Lowe.
Talking about Dave Van Ronk, Frank Christian, Tom and Tondi, so many wonderful, wonderful people who I was blessed to have in my life. And for years there, I kept saying, God, I got to write a song about him. I got to write a song about him. And then a few years ago, I kind of wrote this song that's sort of about all of them. I'm still not sure what to call it. I was thinking about calling it Ghosted, but that has the wrong meaning. So maybe it's just called Where You Are. Well, I see you in each sunset since you're gone. There you are. There you are. When the lights of the skyline flicker on, There you are. There you are. There you are. The far end of a crowded subway car. There you are. Blowing smoke rings in an after-hours bar. I hear you singing softly in the hall. There you are. There you are. And sometimes I still think that you might call. There you are. There you are. There you are. Stepping slowly from an alleyway at night. There you are. Smiling smugly, you've been hiding in plain sight. Is the sky bright and warm or dark and cold? Where you are, where you are the streets paved with fire or with gold? Where you are, where you are, where you are. May the sunlight shine down warmly on your face. Where you are, may the angels find you worthy of God's grace. I feel you. You're the breeze that lifts the leaves. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're the morning dove calling from the eaves. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Somehow with me beyond time and beyond death. Here beside me till I let go. My last breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So about, I don't know, 2017, after about 30 years of hosting open mics at various places around the village, some like, you know, something finally clicked, and a guy walked in and picked a number out of the hat and said his name was Fabio Fantuzzi, and we became friends really quickly, and next thing I knew, I had been adopted by an Italian family outside of Venice. In addition to setting up a whole bunch of tours of Italy, Fabio being a scholar and a history buff, always knew someplace really wonderful to go in between shows. And we were doing a show in Saturnia, and he said, you know, aside from those wonderful sulfur springs, he said there's a necropolis nearby, and you know, this thing that predated the Roman Empire by hundreds of years at least, maybe more, and it was not a big tourist attraction. So we were like the only people there. We're walking around these caves, these cave tombs. You know, it's a city of the dead. And so, and it was interesting because even though it was abandoned or, you know, not, there was nobody there but us, but somebody had like arranged laurel leaves around the center of this tomb. And it just made me start thinking about the myth of Endymion, who the goddess Diana fell in love with him and convinced the gods to let him live forever, but he had to sleep in this cave. And she only woke him up when she wanted to have sex with him. Nice work if you can get it. Edna St. Vincent Millay wrote a fantastic poem about him. Anyway, I thought I'd write a really spooky song about the necropolis. And then a few days into working on this song, I started making fun of it. And here's the song. This is called Tosca. Endymion said not to fall asleep in your cave. He said I wouldn't wake for many thousands of days, and then you might just turn me into one of your slaves and leave me lost in some forgotten maze. The jasmine smells like nutmeg in the late afternoon. The lazy breezes whisper a mysterious tune. Cicadas in the cypress trees all sing to the moon. A song that says I must be leaving soon. You feed me so much pasta that I think I'm gonna pop. I holler basta basta, but you never ever stop. You drown me in Prosecco till I fall down with a flop. And then we started over again. My heart belongs to one who lives across the great seas, who loves me with a kind of careless, casual ease. And though she lets me run and go wherever I please, she knows I'll crawl back on my hands and knees. They say that you're the daughter of a nymph and a god. I'm trying to escape against impossible odds. I think that you bewitched me with that red pepper pod, but you know I'd eat it over again. As Luna slowly rises, I stare into her face. I wonder if it's lonely wandering out there in space. I offer some libations as a sign of good grace, and hope her light will guide me from this place. OLESKO. Thank you. See you in Italy.
We're halfway there. Thank you so much, Chris.
Sure,
Simone.
thank you.
Oh, wow. Listening to Chris play, it really reminded me of so many wonderful memories of the village as well. I wasn't a musician. I was an outsider. I was a DJ. But, watching all these great people, it was superb. There was such a creative atmosphere, and it still continues. That's why we do this festival each month. We're showcasing our global village now. And it's because of what was started, the seeds that were planted in Greenwich Village, that we're able to continue on and bring all this to you all around the globe. Again, thanks to everybody who's donated to our tip jar. Find out more information at our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. And you'll be happy to help us keep going and bringing this to you every first Sunday of the month. Well, talking about creativity, our next performer grew up in a musical family, and it obviously rubbed off on her, but she is more than just a musician. She's a musician, a painter, an educator. She's got 8 independent albums and tours to her credit. The New Yorker described her voice as one that could send an orchid into bloom, while her guitar playing can open a beer bottle with its teeth. She's been a cultural diplomat for the U.S. Department of State, embarking on a transformative journey with her trio, the Northern Lights, where they performed and conducted workshops across Africa. She's also a certified 200-hour yoga teacher and a guiding presence as the artistic director for the conscious global community Soul Call Global. Her latest efforts include a role as engagement editor at the Millerton News. She also contributes a weekly cartoon to the paper that showcases her artistic versatility. She's a contributing writer for the Acoustic Guitar magazine, and we are proud that she is the new conference director for NERFA, the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference, which, by the way, is running a song contest. So I'll tell you artists about this a little bit later on, because after Natalia finishes, it's something you all might want to get in on. Well, I'm so happy she could be with us tonight. Please welcome Natalia Zukerman.
Hey, thanks, Ron. It's so fun. I'm usually Monday mornings hanging out with Ron because we're on the programming committee together for the NERFA. And I never noticed your Jerry Garcia. And is that like a pillow of your cat?
It's an AI cat, I call it. It is a pillow.
It's fantastic. I haven't seen that one before. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for having me back. I think I was here like probably about a year ago. And I had some friends who were like, we're going to meet you in the village tonight. We'll see you down there. And I was like, oh, it's on the internet. But yeah, I did grow up in New York City. And yeah, I'm going to start with this one. I'm not healed and you're not broken. That's not how this thing works. There's so much that we carry from before the moment of our birth. The earth is crying as our cities burn. How can some not even seem concerned? Drawing a circle, drawing a line down the middle of the nation. The way we divide into us and them, it keeps us numb, but we're waking up, we're waking up. If I see you being hurt, I'll rush in. Where there's injustice being done, I'll rush in. With love in my heart and rage in my mouth, these two things can go together, I can see that now. Side by side, side by side, side by side, side by side. I'm not lost and you're not searching. My God's not in a church. You can tell me that I'm wrong, I've been told worse. I see God in everyone, every mother and every mother's son. Drawing conclusions, drawing a map, counting bodies in the aftermath. Never again means for anyone, anywhere. If I see you being hurt, I'll rush in. Where there's injustice being done, I'll rush in. With love in my heart and rage in my mouth, these two things can go together, I can see that now. If I see you being hurt, I'll rush in. Where there's injustice being done, I'll rush in. With love in my heart and rage in my mouth, these two things can go together, I can see that now. Side by side, 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 side by side. Love in my heart and rage in my mouth. Love in my heart and rage in my mouth. Love in my heart and rage in my mouth. The sound of one hand clapping. Thanks so much. Yeah, thank you, Deborah, for discussing how we can contain multitudes, many realities at once, yes? So I wrote this song, I wrote a whole album actually called Come Thief, Come Fire. And they were all songs about thievery and arson on some level. And this one was inspired by a story I read in the New York Times from like 1996, I think. There was a whole series of fires that summer in Woodstock, New York, which is right nearby where I live now. And there was a volunteer firefighter named Vernon, who became known as Burnin' Vernon. And he single-handedly put out something like 50 barn fires in this one particular summer. And it turns out that he was lighting them on fire himself. And but he was lauded as this hometown hero for a little while there. And it's interesting how we can put our faith in people or governments or leaders of some kind and feel disappointed in the end. So this is called Hero. Always lived your life in the shadows, long and dark like the ones in the meadow. You watch them dance round the lines of your property. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your family. You watch them all fade away. Why do you need a hero? It's only gonna disappoint you. You've been following a broken arrow, making circles around your heart, looking for a new place to start. Never meant to do anybody harm, made sure the house was safe on the family farm. The colors go from red to charcoal black. Is that what makes you wanna come back? In the end, you wanna watch it all fade away. Why do you need a hero? It's only gonna disappoint you. We've been following a broken arrow, making circles around your heart, looking for a new place to start. With a matchbook in my hand, more like a calling than a plan. Does it make me any less of a man? If you hear me say, if you hear me say, start with a matchbook in my hand, more like a calling than a plan. Does it make me any less of a man? If you hear me say, I will not be your hero, I cannot be your hero, I will not be your hero. I'm just looking for it. I cannot be, yeah, I will not be. I cannot be your hero, 'cause I'm just looking for a place to go. Looking for, looking for, looking for. Looking for, looking for, looking for it.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. What did Carla say? I could open a beer bottle with my actual guitar once. That is claim to fame. Mazel. So I was very lucky to have a song on the Folk Now compilation a couple months ago, and Eric Balke works his little tuchus off making that happen for our community, and he heard me play this song at a NERFA, last NERFA, and was so kind and asked me to record it and then promoted it, and it became song number 1 in January, played by folk DJs like Ron OLESKO. Thank you so much. And I wanted to share this. Is really meant so much to me. There's a DJ in Israel named Menachem, and he wrote a note saying, "Thanks, Eric. I will be playing Natalia Zukerman's song as well as others from January's Folk Now this coming Sunday. Natalia's take on her identity and faith is different to mine, but I respect her choices, and her song is magnificent. Best wishes, Menachem." And I have that here because it just gave me hope that we can hold multiple ideas and be open to hearing each other. May it be so. So this is a song called The Great Forgetting. I can't sing with my glasses on, so... Drove out to Jerusalem, and they spent that whole time arguing. That's what families do. My uncle told a joke I've heard my father tell. Truth is neither tell it all that well, but still it's laughter that'll get you through. Thank you, Carla. And if this isn't true, then what is? At the wall there's so much suffering, and those prayers feel like the great forgetting. I am on the only side I'm allowed to choose, in a body that I've occupied. I have a memory of things that aren't mine. We are born knowing how to lose. for, the blood and the holy war, the lines and the boundaries, the children, the casualties. I stood where Jesus stood. What I've always understood is he was just a man. He was just a man. And if this isn't true, then what is? The darkest blue is at the horizon line. I've been painting it wrong all this time, like I always thought it would be me and you. And this isn't true. If this isn't true. If this isn't true, what is? Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Natalia, Zukerman. And for those of you who just can't enough of Natalia, I don't blame you because I can't either. But on May 11th, she'll be with Susan Werner at the Circle of Friends Coffee House in Franklin, Massachusetts. On May 24th, she'll be at the Graveside Variety in Woodstock, New York. Just will be opening. June 11th, she'll be in the Village at the Bitter End as part of John Platt's On Your Radar. And July 9th through 14th at Fernfest in Truffant, Michigan. And of course, you can find out more at her website as well, Natalia Zukerman. And we mentioned NERFA, the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference. She's doing an amazing job as conference director for this year's conference, which will be taking place in November in Portland. And I know we have a lot of songwriters in our audience. So I just want to mention NERFA has a new quarterly songwriting contest, which is available to all songwriters. You have to be registered for the conference either in person or a virtual ticket will get you in. And it's a quarterly contest. There's prizes, gift certificates from Elderly Instruments, and also a compilation which will be released to radio of the winners over the course of the year. So check it out, nerfa.org for more information. And again, check out our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. We're about to have our last performer of the evening. And before we do, again, I want to thank everybody who's donated to our tip jar. And there's still time, of course. You can go to look in the chat feature on YouTube and Facebook, or just go to our website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org, and make your donation to help keep this going. It's a free festival. You know, this is available virtually. It's archived, but it's support from our generous community that makes all this happen. Well, speaking of generous members of our community, our next performer is certainly no stranger to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. She was my co-host for many, many months on this event. From her early days in New York City nightclubs to recent sold-out shows at Birdland, Christine remains among the funniest and most profound observers of modern culture today. And she's an organizer. She's furthered the careers of so many fellow artists. She co-founded the Winter's Night Tour, the Four Bitchin' Babes, and recently a 100-song compilation of songs called The Seasons, with her eye firmly fixed on the future. And by the way, The Seasons, we did a whole show back in January here on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. So check that out in our archives on YouTube. It's always not only just an honor, but a delightful pleasure to have her with us. Please give a warm welcome to Christine Lavin.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ron. I hope I have the thing on in the right position. It says original sound for musicians on. That's correct? Is it? I'm gonna hope it is. Okay. Oh, I was never the kind of musician who ever sung the blues. I'm still full up with optimism. I find it hard to watch the news, but if you know anything about music, you recognize this is a blues progression that I play in the key of A. For the first time in my life, I'm singing the blues 'cause of what happened to me the other day. What happened? Testify, sister. All right. I was looking in the mirror was looking back at me. The woman in the mirror said, here's a dose of reality. Then she mumbled something. I had to say, could you repeat what you just said? The woman in the mirror grimaced, rolled her eyes, shook her head. The next day, the same thing happened. I was talking to my reflection. She was mumbling back. I said, is this some kind of trick of natural selection? I said, come on out with it. Speak up. Unless you want to play charades. The woman in the mirror leaned in and said, you need hearing aids. I said, what? She said, you need hearing aids. What you talking about, mirror woman? I admit I was dismayed. I told her I've had my hearing tested. She said, that's right. 5 years ago. Oh. Did they tell you that your hearing was perfect then? I could not lie. I said, no. She said, did you have your hearing tested again after that? Again, I could not lie. 4 years ago, I knew my ears were in trouble. How much trouble? That was hard to quantify. She said, did you have your hearing tested again after that? I said, yeah. She said, what was the result? I said, worse. It's a curse. She said, you gotta stop living like a fool in a fool's universe. Whoops. Now when I talk to the woman in the mirror, I hear every word. It took me 5 years to get to this point. I know that sounds absurd, but if you find yourself saying, what? Over and over again, better start doing something about it, my friend. Oh, I was never the kind of musician who ever sung the blues. I'm too full up with optimism. I find it hard to watch Fox News. But if you know anything about music, you recognize this is a blues progression that I play in the key of A. I hear everything. I hear every little thing. You talk behind my back, and I will hear you. Every little thing going on today.
Singer.
What was that? What was that? What did you say, Ron? Can you repeat that? we sort of had a little rehearsal. What? You think I'm a bad blues singer? heard that. That's how it was supposed to end. I actually have my on the video that I made for the song, my audiologist. He's an honest to God audiologist, and he says, "You're not a very good blues singer," and I say, "I heard that." So, well, this next song, I come from a really big family, and people ask me all the time, like, what's it like coming from a big family? The truth is, you ask that of a person who comes from a big family, we don't know what to say because we have nothing to compare it to. And for the longest time, my brothers and sisters said, please don't sing about us. You can make up whatever you want about anybody else, but don't sing about us. But I finally stopped listening to them. Here we go. My parents met on the New York City subway. Back before World War II, Dad said, aren't you one of Judge Crawford's daughters? Mom said, how do you do? That's how the conversation started. Above the clickety-clack, on a train from the Bronx to Manhattan, where two 20-somethings began to chat. Until that day, what can I say? They were two young commuters, long before there were computers. Until that day, what can I say? Stars align when love is kindly on display. First thing they did after they married was to move north, 50 miles up, to live the life bucolic, drinking from the Lavin cup. Babies came one after another, after another, after another, after another. I am the fourth of 9. They did the best that they knew how to keep us kids in line. It was never easy with a family that size. Thank God for our black Labrador Spanky with his gentle, trusting eyes. Sometimes Spanky was the only one in the house to be loved by everyone unconditionally. My oldest sister went to nursing school. My oldest brothers were college bound. Soon I was 2, but for much of the time I was lost, until I found that music gave me purpose. So I saved every dime till I could quit my day job, though it took a long, long time. And the younger kids all found their way in science, sports, and history. One became a therapist, one became a journalist. He's a bit of a mystery. Some got married, some divorced. Some have kids who are now grown. I keep up with their exploits, 'cause they text me on my phone. Yeah, I'm riding the New York City subway, staring at the screen. I look up, there's a young boy pestering his mom. She looks all of 19. A lovely girl sporting earbuds next to a young man sporting earbuds too. But they're both staring at screens, and for all we know, she's in Brooklyn, he's in Kathmandu. I want to introduce them to each other and say, kids, open your eyes. Looking, standing right beside you could be a sweet surprise. But I say nothing as this subway rumbles into the dark. But every now and then I read as I disembark. Years ago, a conversation started about the clickety-clack on a train from the Bronx to Manhattan. The 220-somethings began to chat, and on the day they started talking, everything was new. You gotta look up from your cell phone so this can happen to you. Until that day, what can I say? They were two young commuters long before there were computers. Until that day, what can I say? Stars align when love is kindly on display. Oh, thank you. You know, it's been so interesting listening to these singer-songwriters from all over the country, and hearing their unique points of view. And boy, it was so tough during the pandemic for some of us. For others, they figured out a way to, jump right in and become proficient with all of this technology. But for a lot of us, it was really, really hard. And one of the great things, though, that has come out of this is that my family, because there's 9 kids in our family, and we're spread out all over the place, started doing Zooms on Sunday. And we discovered our brother Jimmy somehow found and rescued a whole bunch of letters that our dad wrote to our mom during World War II. And our dad actually wanted to propose marriage to our mom during the war, but my grandfather would not allow it. He was a very stern taskmaster. He never drank, he never smoked. He was a judge. He was a very serious man. And he didn't want to have one of his daughters, because he had 6 daughters and 1 son, become engaged to a man who might die in the war. So he said, absolutely not. You cannot get engaged during the war. But my father decided that he would kind of woo our mom with his pen. And my brother Jimmy, who has all these letters out in Chicago, and we had a meeting today at 5 o'clock, just a couple hours ago, before the show started. And he read one of the letters, and we always learned something really interesting. Now, what you know about my parents already from that song that I just did is that they met on the subway between Manhattan and the Bronx. They were actually both going toward Manhattan, toward their jobs. And but we found out something else just from my brother reading the letters about their romance. And so I'm going to recite this. I'm going to read this to you because it doesn't have music yet. And it's been really hard for me to figure out how to turn this into a song. But I really believe in this story, and I think that people will like it. So here we go. It's called Things We've Learned During the Pandemic Zoom. Every Sunday night at 6, we gather round our computer screens in Chicago, New York, Rochester, Geneva, and other points between. And we talk about the week that was and what lay ahead. We ask Brother Jimmy, got a letter? And he nods his head. When our dad was in the Army in the thick of World War II, he wrote long distance to our mom, as lonely soldiers do. He wanted to propose to her, but her dad, the judge, said, no, wait until the war is over, then maybe give it a go. So Dad was left to woo her with his heart and with his pen, though they both knew with the world at war, they might never meet again. In his letters, he called her Princess. We try not to roll our eyes because we only knew our dad as Dad, not some lovesick, goofy guy. Mom saved all his letters, all 274. Jimmy reads 1 or 2 each week. If we ask nicely, he'll read more. It's a side of our parents that none of us had known about. A soldier and his princess with the world at war acting out. He could never tell her where he was, just the country he was stationed, though sometimes he might hint about his next destination. In one letter, Dad grew philosophical as he dreamily reminisced about that time in Grand Central Station where they exchanged their first kiss. He wrote about how the bustling crowd paid them no mind at all as they rushed this way and rushed that way, moving through the cavernous hall. The moment meant so much to him. He could not understand why strangers didn't stop and stare, or at least give them a hand. So, every now and then, if I'm in the neighborhood by chance, I stop into Grand Central. It's my personal tribute to romance. And I stand in this grand space as I look up and around. And not far from the crowd, way up there, 11 stories above the ground, this is all true, there's a 9-inch by 5-inch, there's a 9-inch by 15-inch dark patch just to the northwest. Perhaps a bit of history here will illuminate it best. You see, work started in 1903. It took 10 years to complete. By the 1990s, the ceilings were filthy, not just pollution from the street. No, it wasn't diesel fumes, but cigarettes, pipes, and cigars. Yep, the biggest culprit of them all was nicotine and tar. So the cleaners, armed only with Q-tips and with simple green, vowed that they would not stop scrubbing till the whole darn ceiling was clean. But then they got an idea to leave one rectangle dark. A big argument ensued. You could hear the shouting all the way to Central Park, but the cleaners won and got their way. That tiny patch you see, right near the crab to the northwest, that's how sooty the ceilings used to be. And now I have to wonder, was that rectangle witness to the moment when Dad kissed our mom way back in 1942? The soldier and his princess. They did give it a go. Their 9 kids all meet up now on Zoom Sundays. Now you know. Yes, every Sunday night at 6, we gather round our computer screens in Chicago, New York, Rochester, Geneva, and all points in between. And we talk about how our week went. And Jimmy reads a letter. We hear our parents fall in love. And that makes us feel better. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me back.
Yes. Goodness sakes. Got one more song for you?
Oh, another one?
Yeah. So where we get you these days? We'd love to have one more.
Oh, and I should tell you that on Wednesday, I'm going to be at Joe's Pub in New York City with Buskin and Bateau and John Forster, who are just amazing singer-songwriters. And the show's at 6:30, and they have like a really fancy chef there. So if you don't have plans for Wednesday night and you're going to be in New York City.
Huntington.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's see, here we go. opera. I don't like the opera, but he loves the opera, and I love him. I follow the libretto, I follow the conductor. When I follow the plot, my head begins to spin. I don't understand a word, even when it's English. Everyone around me says, this is divine. I don't like the opera. Look, I'm at the opera. Good thing he can't read my mind. How long did you say this was? 16 hours. Oh, great. Now I got to stop right here because I wrote this song back in 1985, but I sang it at the open mic at Birdland on it was on a Monday night, and there was a guy at the bar who said, you should write a version of that song for a man to sing, because it's not just women who do stupid things in the name of love, men do too. Is that true? I'll take that as a yes. So this is called Good Thing She Can't Read My Mind, a Dude's Eye View. I am at a shopping mall. I do not like shopping malls. She loves shopping malls and I love her. Each time she stops to look at shoes, I'm reacquainted with the blues. I'm sure there are men here who will concur. I wanted to stay home today to watch the Green Bay Packers play a monumental pigskin contest of the manly kind. But I am at a shopping mall. I hate shopping malls. Good thing she can't read my mind. Sure, I'll hold your purse while you try that on. No, I don't think that dress makes your butt look big. I am at a craft fair. I do not like craft fairs. She loves craft fairs and I love her. There's origami, topiary, face painting, scrapbooking, and my favorite, dream catchers. What the hell's a dream catcher? What the hell is decoupage? Morris dancing, I need something I can hide behind. Can't stand craft fairs. Look, I'm at a craft fair. Good thing she can't read my mind. Make my own soap? How did you know? That was my dream. I am not complaining, I'm just making observations. Expanding your horizons is a sign of sophistication. Now I'm in a Pilates class every Sunday morning, though sometimes thoughts of boxing overcome me without warning. I am at a chick flick. I do not like chick flicks. She loves chick flicks and I love her. Oh my God, it's a double bill. Now I'm really feeling ill. It's Beaches, followed by The Way We Were. I am in an awful mood. I'm eating awful food. All I wanted was to kick back and unwind. Instead I got 2 chick flicks. I'll give you $100 to kill me. Good thing she can't read my mind. What? Tomorrow night is Terms of Endearment and fried green tomatoes? How lucky can one man get? So if you see me at a chick flick, see me in a sushi bar, see me in a shopping mall wallowing in despair, don't feel sorry for me. I must be in love. Why in the hell else would I be there? Before I met him, let her life was dull. I never took any chances, but now I live it every opportunity I find. Can't stand craft fairs or shopping malls or chick flicks, but maybe I will in time. Maybe I will in time. What? Go with you for the entire weekend to London for the Downton Abbey napkin folding competition? I would love to.
Yeah. Christine Lavin, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It was wonderful to hear all of you. And you know what song I can't get out of my head? Tosca. Oh, Chris, that's unbelievable.
Wow, it was a fantastic evening. What so many great songs tonight and so many great artists. And I want to just take a moment now to thank them all. Of course, Christine Lavin, who we just heard, Natalia Zukerman, Chris Lowe, Deborah Silverstein, Grant Livingston, Carla Ulbrich, Greg Klyma, and Luke Wallace. And special thanks to our wonderful tech, John Viola, and the folks like Rod MacDonald and Ray Mysick and Andrea Klosky who put all this together. And thanks to all of you who've supported this and made a donation to our tip jar. Now, don't forget, you can go to our website, GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org, help support it and help keep us coming back every first Sunday of the month. And we do have plans for June. On June 2nd, our lineup will include Andrew Ratchin's Electric Bonsai Band, which I'm sure if you know, it's not a band and it's not electric. It's Andrew Ratchin who performs acoustically, and he's fantastic, from Uncle Bonsai. Also, Aaron Ash Sullivan will be here, Reggie Harris, Michael Ronstadt, Barnaby Bright, Greg Greenway, and Tom Chapin. What a way to go out in June. So I hope you'll be there, June 2nd. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful evening. And remember, wherever you go, make sure you carry a song in your heart. Take care, everybody.